Hello viewers, and thank you so much for joining me, Costa, on the Big Talk, and this is the Citizen Voice Network. Today we are talking about the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. Today I've got a special guest in the sense that he is one of the significant persons who was involved in the constitution making process between 2009 and 2013. A senior lawyer and a ZANU-PF Politburo member.
Correct.
Comrade Paul Mangwana. I just want to give you an opportunity to meet our viewers.
Thank you. Yes, I've been a legal practitioner for 40 years. I participated in writing the Constitution as a co-chair of the constitution making process. So in looking at this amendment, you look at the four corners of the Constitution and say, is this amendment in line with the Constitution itself? The Constitution provides for ways in which it can be amended. Whenever Parliament wants to amend it, it must follow certain procedures, depending on what you are trying to amend. But what I want to state from the outset is that when we were writing the Constitution, we were very clear that we do not want to restrict Parliament's power to make and unmake laws in the country. The right to make laws in the country rests with Parliament. That is the responsibility of Parliament, including the Constitution itself. So Parliament is the institution which has been given power to make laws for the good governance of Zimbabwe. And the Constitution is one of the laws which should be made by Parliament. So this Constitution, being a law created by Parliament, can be amended by Parliament. Every provision of this Constitution can be amended by Parliament. But we then realize that we want to protect 3 items only and take away the total power of Parliament to amend those 3. One of them is the Bill of Rights. Parliament cannot amend the Bill of Rights without going for a referendum. The second one is the land issue. The land provisions in this Constitution cannot be amended by Parliament without a referendum. Anything else outside those provisions I've mentioned can be amended by Parliament. This was our wisdom to say, let us allow Parliament to continue to have power to amend the Constitution whenever it feels like we should amend, without going to the people, except for the 3 items we specifically mentioned.
Yeah, is it your contention that the current bill does not require a referendum in your overall assessment?
Yes, it does not.
Why?
Because it's not one of the 2 items I've mentioned. It's not amending the Bill of Rights. It's not amending the land provisions. So it does not require a referendum.
Well, maybe you can just try to define in simple terms what a term means as far as it is espoused in this Constitution, a presidential term. What are we talking about?
A term is any period in excess of 3 years. 3 years plus. A term is a period of 3 years. And this Constitution is very clear in defining what a term is. For the purpose of this Constitution, a term is a period of 3 years. And I'll give you this example. When President Mnangagwa took power, he finished off President Mugabe's term. He came into office in 2017. If he had come into office 2015, he would not have been considered to have served a term. So he came in 2017, and that period is not counted because it's not a term. Then his term started 2018. So the period he served in 2017 is less than 3 years. It has not been counted. Then he came 2018. The proposal now is to give him 2 years, which is less than the 3 years. Yeah. So as long as it's less than 3 years, he is not having another term.
Yeah, we will get there.
Yeah.
Your fellow party member, a senior and a former Attorney General, former Justice Minister, former Finance Minister, Patrick Namasa, as soon as the resolution number 1, as it has been coded since the 2024 ZANU-PF People's National Conference in Bulawayo, he contended that these amendments, particularly before all these other items were added, of extending the president's term by 2 years, it will not escape, not just 1, but 2 referendums. What would you like to respond to him?
No, there was no text in place. There was no amendment in place. He was simply alerting to say, if you do this, this is what will be required to be done. And he was expressing his opinion. Now we have looked at the amendment and the text of the bill. And now we are testing that against the law. And I will not respond to political statements. I will respond to the law as it is today. The bill does not contravene the Constitution, and the Constitution is very clear.
But for the benefit of our viewers, Mr. Mangwana, I would want you to listen to him. Just take a listen.
Sure.
Presidential tax. And I have no intention of saving beyond 2028. This will come as such news to you, but please don't stone the messenger. So where we stand, distinguished delegates, is that of all the resolutions, there is one resolution which cannot be implemented without the express consent and agreement of His Excellency President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa. And on Monday, when he told me this, he said, feel free to tell them you consulted me, which is what I am conveying to you this afternoon. So we will have our resolution, but I think we must understand, coming from here, that it will not go anywhere. Because His Excellency is emphatic that when 2028 comes, he will not save beyond that date. He is very emphatic that he had a hand in the drafting and crafting of this constitution, and he cannot be seen nationally, globally, to be the first to violate what he put in place.
So
He is saying that the president will not violate the Constitution. So the president is not violating the Constitution. He is conforming to the Constitution. The party asked the president to serve until 2030. The Constitution allows an extension of 2 years without going to a referendum. And that's exactly what is happening.
I want to get something from you, Comrade Mangwana. If you listen to what Shinamasa is saying, he's saying we need the consent of the president for this extension to happen. We would like to confirm that the president is consented to go beyond 2020.
I cannot speak for and on his behalf, but it is the party which directed that the amendment be made. He chairs cabinet. Cabinet has produced the paper. And I suppose he was in that cabinet which actually approved the amendment.
Okay.
But I don't want to be a spokesman on the issue.
Very fine. But you voted in 2023 elections, isn't
Yes, I did.
Were you aware that you were now voting for a parliament term that was going for 7 years? A councillor who will be in office for 7 years?
No, when we voted for 5 years, but Parliament in its wisdom can seek an extension. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not coming from Parliament, this one, right?
It's coming to Parliament.
It's not coming from...
It is going to come. The proposals can come from anywhere. Mm-hmm. But eventually, it must get into Parliament. And if Parliament approves it, then it is Parliament which has made the extension. It is Parliament which is going to do it.
Yeah, but the ordinary man in the street right now will feel duped that I was voting for you, Comrade
No,
Mangwana,
the
thinking
ordinary
that
man-
in 2028 I will be given another opportunity
The
either
ordinary-
to
the-
give you another contract or not, depending on your performance.
I agree with you, but the ordinary person voted for this parliament to make laws and make laws for the good governance of Zimbabwe. Parliament is just doing its work to make the laws. This is going to be done by the parliament which was voted in by the people. The people, by electing a parliament, have given the power to make laws to that parliament. And it's one of the laws which parliament is making.
Maybe can you help me maybe further interpreting this section 328 subsection?
Yes, read
it aloud.
Read it for me.
Okay, so it says, notwithstanding any other provision of this section, an amendment to a term limit provision, the effect of which is to extend the length of time that a person may hold or occupy any public office, does not apply in relation to any person who held or occupied that office or equivalent office at any time before the amendment.
Sure. And I told you that a term is a period of 5 years. And any period, and the same constitution provides that a term is a period which is 3 years. So this amendment is less than 3 years. 2 years would not be a term. That's why it's not a term limit. It will not be affected by the term limit provision because it's a period which is less than 3 years.
Let me read section 6 again here.
Yes.
Where a constitutional bill, this one is a constitutional bill, isn't it?
Yes.
Seeks to amend any provision of chapter 4 or chapter 16.
Yes.
Within 3 months after it has been passed by the National Assembly and Senate, in accordance with subsection 5, it must be submitted to a national
Chapter
referendum.
4 and chapter 16. Right. Chapter 4 is the Bill of Rights. Chapter 16 is the land provisions. It must go for a referendum. And this amendment is not touching any of those. That is why it does not need to go to a referendum.
Okay, but Part B again says, if it is approved by a majority of voters voting at the referendum, the Speaker of the National Assembly must cause it to be submitted without delay to the President, who must assent or sign. But that is neither here nor there.
If those two,
there is a limitation again that the incumbent can be a beneficiary of the constitutional changes pertaining to term limits.
We are not amending the Constitution, the term limit provisions. He is still serving his second term. It is the second term which has been given another 2 years. He's still serving his second term. But instead of the second term being 5 years, this term is now 7 years, but it's still the second term.
But there's also a question that why are you afraid of going back to the people? Given the percentages of people who voted for this document, but 93% of the people who...
It is the same people who elected this parliament, who gave it the power to make the laws, including changing the constitution. The same people voted for this parliament, gave it power to make laws for the good governance of this country, including the constitution itself. So parliament is still doing its work.
Yeah, but these people were not aware that the right to directly voting for the president is being taken away.
They did not look.
They did not know in 2023 that when they voted for you, you are going to pass a law that will deprive them the right to elect the president directly.
They are not being deprived the right to elect the president directly. It is always, this constitution says how parliament shall be elected, how the president shall be elected. And it's one of the provisions which can be amended by parliament. And it's being amended.
Comrade Mangwana, in your fairest way of appreciating this amendment, the point I'm making is, when I voted for you as my MP in 2023, I was not aware that you were going to take away my right to directly vote for the president, which this amendment bill...
Then you don't vote for me next time. You don't vote for me next time.
No, but the simple principle is that you must go back to the people seeking this
unless the constitution says in order for you to amend that power or that manner of doing things, you go back to the people. The constitution does not say so. We are governed by the constitution. We do what it says you can do. we are not violating the Constitution. It does not say when you want to amend how a president is elected, you go for a referendum. It does not say so. It gives Parliament the power to amend that law. And Parliament is doing that.
But what's the science of just extending by 2 years? Why not 3 years? Why not 4 years?
I've given you the explanation. If you extend by 3 years, you then need to amend the Constitution.
Hey, but what's going to happen within that 2 years?
What is going to happen within the 2 years? The continuation of the programs he has started. He wants to finish up some of the programs he's been doing.
And within his own PF, do you believe there's no one who has got capacity to carry on with the project of the president?
Well, that will come through as we move forward. But we want this particular person who has been driving this program to complete his project.
Now, in your personal assessment, in the current ZANU-PF today, we don't have people who have got capacity to...
I do not want to say that.
So the project and the programs, are they restricted to a single person or they are government?
They are a collective.
Are laid down
they are a collective.
Even if you come in tomorrow, you can still proceed with such things?
They are a collective, but they are being led by a particular person. ZANU-PF was always there, even before he came in. But because he's the champion, he's the leader, he has taken a certain direction in which he has moved the economy. And he should continue moving in that direction.
But the president is on public, he's on record. He has said it many times that when it comes to 2028, he will leave it for somebody.
He does not do what he wants. He was put into power by the party. He takes his instructions from the party. It is the party which is demanding that he saves another 2 years, that he completes the project he's doing. And he must comply if he's still a party cadre. And I'm sure the instruction is good to him, and he's going to comply.
You are confirming he has consented?
I've not spoken to him on it. But I know that he's a constitutionalist, he will listen to the party, and he will comply with what the party wants him to do.
But let's also look at other changes. Fair enough, this presidential term limit with the parliamentary system.
Sure.
Let's look at the defense now not being required to uphold the Constitution, but to act in accordance with the Constitution. What does that mean?
And that's very constitutional. They must act according to the Constitution. That's what all defense forces do. The defense forces don't defend the Constitution. How do they defend the Constitution? Do you shoot the Constitution? Do you take tanks to defend the Constitution? That is not the role of defense forces.
What was wrong with what is wrong
with
the
wording is wrong. You are giving power to to the army to protect the Constitution. Mm-hmm. The Constitution is protected by the laws of Zimbabwe. It is not protected by soldiers. So we are simply neatening up and correcting an anomaly in terms of the way the Constitution is currently written. It is not the role and function of the defense forces to protect the Constitution. It's the role of Parliament, actually, to protect the Constitution.
So in your interpretation, in accordance with the Constitution and upholding the Constitution mean the same thing?
Yeah.
It's simple with changing of wording?
Sure.
Roles and duties of the...
They remain the same.
They remain the same?
They remain the same.
Okay, but there's also another very important issue of changing the voters' role management system, changing it from the hands from MZEC to the Registrar General. There were issues before. Why is this happening?
Because the Registrar General is the repository of all national registration information, from your birth information, death information, marriage information, everything, all the information is kept at the Registrar General's office. Now, if you make so many institutions, you want to make ZEC handle registration information, but it does not, in fact, it does not register the information. It does not have the information. It has to ask the Registrar General's office to provide it with the information to use in order for it to compile the voters' roll. So the one who keeps the information is the Registrar General. That is why he's being given the right to compile the voters' roll using the information which he has. He's the repository of that information.
There were issues before about ghost voters, people who have died years back but still appearing in the voters' roll when it was being managed by the Registrar General.
No, that is an administrative issue. Whether the Registrar General has been removing people who have died on time and so on, that is an administrative issue, and I'm sure it has been sorted out.
I'll guarantee that
I'm sure you can ask the Registrar General about that.
No, but this is your amendment.
The amendment simply is giving him power.
From your party, right? It's coming from your party.
That's why I said it's administrative. You now need a competent Registrar General.
How guaranteed can the public that these
I'm sure the Minister of Home Affairs can answer that. I'm sure the Minister of Home Affairs can answer that. I cannot answer that.
In your view, are you confident enough?
I'm confident that they can do it. It's a purely administrative thing. It can be done. Yeah.
And what is your fellow lawyers, your colleagues, including Professor Laf Mohammed, who has dismissed this whole thing as wholly unacceptable?
He's not just a lawyer, he's a political actor. Laf Mohammed is a political actor. Don't forget that he's the president of the National Constitutional Assembly, a body which was fighting this particular constitution. And he makes his living through criticizing this constitution. And I expect him to take a stance against any amendment. He has never accepted anything done by anyone else except by himself. He was fighting this constitution. He cannot be seen to be protecting it at all. He does not. He set up an organization which makes its survival on criticizing any constitutional reforms. And he should continue.
Yeah, but NCA existed way before this constitution.
It has never supported this constitution. I don't see how they are supporting it.
I know for a fact that it's a public record that they were disputing the constitution, the other items and so forth.
And that's how he survives.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, looking at his repute, he's a lawyer of repute.
No, I respect him. He's respectable as a lawyer. But there's a difference between being a professional lawyer and being a political activist. He is a political activist.
Your fellow colleague as well, Douglas Ngonzoro, who you participated with in terms of writing this constitution, shared a strong opposition, a view to what you are telling us.
No, I respect him also, but he can also misread the law. He may be clouded by political activism also and fail to understand that there is a difference between amending a term limit and a 2-year extension of a constitution. He has not addressed his mind to that.
There's another change as well, which is very controversial. That the traditional leaders will now have to wear political jackets. In the current setup, their conduct are supposed to be apolitical. Why is this?
I think they will continue to be apolitical. They continue. Do not forget that a traditional leader is a Zimbabwean with political views, political preferences, the same rights they have with anyone else. I do appreciate that the opposition was feeling that they must be completely controlled and insulated from politics. That is not possible. It's a wish we all have that they could. Every political actor has a right to go and campaign to anyone. They can also go and campaign to the traditional leaders. But it is utopian to think that when someone is a traditional leader, then they are insulated from politics. That is utopian. That is not possible.
What is being proposed in the bill? What is going to be their status?
Well, they are also free to join, not really to take political positions, but they are free to act like any other citizen. You have political choices.
You mean to be ZANU-PF members?
Not really, I'm not sure. I've not paid my attention to the actual text being proposed, but I think the intention really is to allow them to have the freedom to make political choices like any other citizen.
But is it an agreeable position within your party in terms of this amendment bill?
Yeah, we agree.
Universally agreed?
It's agreed. I cannot speak for anyone else who has not expressed their views, but generally, any proposal of this nature comes through the structures of the party, the Politburo, the Central Committee, the conference, and people were free to express their views, and the party took a position, and the system in our party is that once a party has taken a position, you have a right to disagree within the confines of the party, but once the party has taken a position and you still want to remain a member of the party, you support the position which has been taken by the party.
Your party must be due for a referendum, for Congress next year. How is it going to be impacted by this bill?
I'm sure those will be dealt with according to the constitution of the party.
Your constitution says you are due
Yeah,
for
we
a
are going to
referendum
comply with our
next
constitution.
year.
We comply with our constitution. We've always complied with our constitution. We've held our elections every 4 years and every 5 years. Our structures hold elections as provided for by the party constitution.
What will happen if someone other than President Mnangagwa also throw his name in the hat and get elected to be the party leader?
That will be dealt with by the party in terms of its structures. We'll deal with that situation when it happens.
Yeah, but what are going to be the legal implications vis-a-vis this bill? Because we've got two things that are very critical.
I'm not sure. I do not want to get into this guessing business and then express a view on the things which have not happened. We have a structure in our party. We have a way of handling our own issues. And right now, the party has made a position that President Mnangagwa must remain in office until 2030. That is a party position. So there can only be one candidate right up to 2030. It will be President Mnangagwa.
But in your view, what kind of Zimbabwe will be like after the extension of those 2 years vis-a-vis the completion of the projects?
We'll be at another level in terms of development. Upper middle income, that's where we are going to be. We have finished a lot of the development projects which are taking place currently, and Zimbabwe will be a better place to live in.
What does the upper middle income economy mean by then?
We have reached a certain level of development where we've moved from a low developed country to an upper middle income developed country, where income levels will be above $3,000 per annum per every citizen.
We've had very beautiful policies from Zambia.
You can see what is happening right now
Proposals.
in terms of development trajectory. There are lots of developments in terms of water, schools, health, the economy itself. Everything is being done properly, and we're going to reach that level of development.
The most fundamental concern right now comes from even the welfare of the civil servants. So by 2030, what will be your estimation vis-a-vis their earnings and their livelihoods?
I'm sure their salaries, once the economy starts being able, because what is happening is that you do not want to pay your civil servants without looking at the general performance of the entire economy. So the salaries being earned by civil servants must be a certain proportion of the performance of the economy. So as the economy is performing better, then you also expect the emoluments of the civil servants to be improved.
Are you happy with the current welfare of the civil
It can be improved. Definitely it can be improved. But subject to the performance of the economy.
But there are also, the social services, the issue of education and hospitals.
Right now, a lot is being done, but it could be better if the economy could perform better than what it is doing.
Yeah, because I want somebody who is watching this program to really understand the sense of getting the extension.
Because
the picture of this country that they will be able to visualize and see and experience.
Things are improving, but I do not want to say that we are already there. We are not yet there, but things are improving, and we should continue improving. From the welfare of the citizens, the earnings of the civil servants, general income of the citizenry. Once the economy continues to perform well, then the state will be able to collect more taxes and more revenues. With more collection of more revenues, they will be able also to address all the issues which require addressing, because they all need resources. And resources come from a broader base of taxation. Broader base of taxation is achieved when the economy generally is also performing well. And then you earn more money, and then you increase the revenues you collect, and then you address all the social issues.
Justice Minister Ziabi recently, you were saying this amendment bill is going to make it possible for the people in the diaspora to participate in our elections. How is that going to be possible?
I cannot answer for that statement at the moment, but what I know right now is that the bill is not addressing the vote by the diasporians.
So what would you like to say?
As of now. As of now, it's not yet addressing that.
Okay, that's what you say.
Yeah, but the bill, I've read the bill. I can confidently say those provisions are not yet in the bill. Yeah, but he may be expressing an intention. I suppose if he wants to bring the amendment as the Minister of Justice, he can do so. But you can ask him.
That would be a separate bill or the revision of this bill?
It could be either a revision of this bill or a separate bill. But as of now, the position is that it's not yet part of the proposed law.
But the analysts have also been saying, that these changes really have got something to do with factionalism and succession in your party.
I don't think so. No factionalism. There's nothing about factionalism, nothing about succession, except the only thing about succession is that it may delay the holding of the coming in of another leader of the party by 2 years.
And eventually, President Mnangagwa will...
He will eventually leave office and someone will come in.
What kind of a president do you like to see taking over from him?
A president will be able to continue in this trajectory of economic development.
Other qualities?
He must be a good leader, democratic, with a good sense, nationalist in mind, driving this country to a good development.
In ZANU-PF, do you have such people right now?
Yes, we do. Many. Many. But they'll come when their time also comes.
Let's go back to what the president has been saying for a couple of years. I know that there is a statement that is circulating in social media to say 2013 Ndinenge Chipo, but he has been clear more than thrice at international level, even locally, and even the last time he met journalists, some of our colleagues, he made it clear that even persuaders like you, he will persuade you back, not to persuade you.
I heard that. I heard that. I heard that. But at the same time, do not realize that it is the party which assigned him to lead it, assigned him to lead the country. So he, being a party member, he must listen to the voice of the party and the voice of the people. He has also said that he will not contradict the voice of the people, because the voice of the people is the voice of God. That's his statement. So now that the people have spoken and have told him, remain in office by another 2 years, he is duty-bound to listen to that voice of the people.
When did the people say they want him to go beyond 2028?
The party, at its conference.
But he's not a president of the party. He's a president.
No, he starts off, he's assigned by the party to lead the country. He's running this country as an assignment given by ZANU-PF.
And not ZANU-PF only.
First of all, he gets a mandate from...
Voted for him.
He gets a mandate from ZANU-PF to be its
party leader.
And
to become the national president.
And its candidate in elections. They filled him into an election. Then they mandate him. Now the people have mandated the same ZANU-PF. He's mandated him to make another 2 years in office.
But Mr. Mangwana, the voice of the people is the voice of God. I thought this is where you need to give people a chance to have a say vis-a-vis these constitutional changes.
We are giving people a chance to have a say through their parliament. The people elected parliament to make laws for the good governance of this country on their behalf. And this is one of the laws parliament is making.
Is it your fair assessment that over 2 million people that voted for the president would have to 300 people will then decide on behalf of over 2 million people.
That is what
who
we
voted for the
agreed.
president.
That is what we agreed as Zimbabweans, to say this country is going to be run through laws created by this parliament of 300 people.
Is it your reasoning that if this had become clear to the electorate before the election, your party would have been voted back into office?
Correct. The party, people are aware that they elected ZANU-PF to make laws for this country. And this is just one of the laws it's speaking.
So why is it so difficult to just go back to them and give them
It's
a
not
chance
necessary. It's not necessary to
it because
have
we don't have resources?
to have the nation go to the extent of all those expenses. It's not necessary.
But you need a confirmation. We simply say we need to give people a chance to have a say in this.
Is it necessary? Is it required by law? We do what the law says we must do. We don't spend money simply because it's good to do so. It's so expensive. You only do it when you think it's necessary. If the law requires you to do it, and the law does not require us to do it.
If the president supposedly says, no, gentlemen, it's enough, I have had my time, I have done my part, what's going to happen?
He'll be dealt with by the party in terms of his constitution. He is a party member, and he swore to comply with the instructions of the party. The party has instructed him to remain in office by another 2 years. If he decides to disobey, the party will deal with him in accordance with his constitution.
Yeah, but he may as well say, I have resigned from ZANU-PF, I want to go and rest.
We can ask him, but the party will deal with him.
Even if he has resigned voluntarily?
If he resigns, then he ceases being a party member, and the party will not be able to deal with
What's
him.
going to
But
happen
for as
in
long as
such
he remains,
circumstance?
I do not think that will happen, because I know that he's a party member at heart. But in the event of the unthinkable happening, then definitely I'm now reasoning as a lawyer, the party will deal with him according to its constitution.
And then lastly, what is your comment on the Shigananda narrative?
In the first place, can you define Shigananda? In my own definition of Shigananda, those are criminals, economic saboteurs. And definitely that statement is correct to say the party does not agree with Shigananda. It does not want looters, it does not want corrupt people, it does not want people who make money using
Unscrupulous means?
unscrupulous means, yes.
And I think there was a document that was tabled before the Politburo last year, and it has alluded to that it was tabled by the Vice President, in which some names, key business people were named in that.
I prefer that you ask him about that issue.
What's your take on that?
No, I cannot comment on what someone else's research, his findings, and whatever. I cannot comment. The matter was dealt with by the party.
Your fellow party members.
It was dealt with by the party,
spokesperson of the
and
party,
the matter was concluded.
Mr. Chris Mnangagwa, you say he accused him of turning the presidium into a kangaroo court.
Again, you can ask Chris Mnangagwa, but the point is the matter was debated within the confines of the party and resolved internally in the party.
Mangwana, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
There you have it, our viewers. We were talking to a senior lawyer, ZANU-PF Politburo member, Comrade Paul Mangwana. He has shared his thoughts on the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, and he insisted that there's no need for a referendum because the requirement in this constitution does not require this amendment to be subjected to the people of Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm signing out.